1, 2, 3, 4. I had no shoes and I complained until I met a man who had no feet. That's really bleak. I had no feet and I complained until I met a man who had no knees. That was his disease. I had no knees and I complained until I met a man, and you know what? He had no butt. I had no butt and I complained about it all. And then I met a man who had no balls. I had no balls and I complained until I met a man who had no guts, no balls, no butt, and now no guts. I had no guts and I complained until I met a man who had no heart. The most important part, I had no heart and I complained I did not understand. And then I met a man who had no hands. I had no hands and I complained until I met a man who was a wreck. He had no neck. I had no neck and I complained until I met a man who had no chin. Some folks lose, some folks win. I had no chin and I complained until I met a man who had no nose. That really blows. I had no nose and I complained until I met a man who never cries. He had no eyes, I had no eyes, and I complained until I met a man who felt no pain. He had no brain. I had no brain and I complained until I met a man who had no head. As good as dead, I had no head and I complained until I met a man who had no hair. There was nothing there. I had no hair and I complained until I met a man who had no hat. Picture that, not even a hat. I had no hat and I complained until I met a man who had no sky. No reason why I had no sky, and I complained until I met a man who had no star.
He has no star.
No Venus or Mars.
No Venus or Mars.
And not any stars. I had no stars and I complained until I met a man who had no God.
That's rather odd.
I had no God and I complained until I met a man who had no faith.
Nothing, just in case.
I had no faith and I complained until I met a man